Please take your seats and silence all electronic devices. Please take your seats. Our program will begin shortly. Please take your seats and silence all electronic devices. Our program will begin shortly. Please welcome the President of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 94th annual meeting in sunny Long Beach, California. Yeah! First off, I want to thank the sponsors for this annual meeting. Where else could we possibly start but to thank the sponsors? Amazon, American Institute of Architects, Axon, Best Friends Animal Society, CGI Digital, Chevron, Cisco, Communities United Smart Policy, CUSP, Deloitte, Edison Electric Institute, General Motors, Google, Guild, HDR, Ike Smart City, International Association of Firefighters, Mars Pet Care, Meta, Oakview Group, Salesforce, Siemens, SkyDO, STV Corporation, StubHub, Via, Walmart, Waymo, and Wells Fargo. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Now, we always start our annual meeting with some old-fashioned traditions. I suspect we've done these things for 90-plus years. I think it's a very nice gesture, and it certainly highlights where we are, because we're going to see some of the best of Long Beach here in the next few minutes. So please stand and remain standing through the national anthem as the colors are presented by the Long Beach Fire Department. Now, please welcome our national anthem singer, who is a nationally recognized disability rights activist, executive director of the Disabled Resources Center, and the founder of Long Beach Disability Pride. She is also the voice of Dahlia in Disney's animated feature film, Wish. Please welcome Jennifer Kumiyama.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. We will now have a special land acknowledgement by the Cultural Affairs Officer for the City of Long Beach, Griselda Suarez. Please welcome Griselda.
Buenos dias, good morning. Long Beach is located on the traditional and sacred homelands of the Tongva, also known as the Gabrieleño, the Kizh, the Ahashiman Juaneño, and many other indigenous peoples who have lived, gathered, and cared for these grounds. We honor the Tongva and the Ahashiman Juaneño as the first stewards and traditional caretakers of Tavungar, together with the Chumash of the north and west and the Tataviam and Cahuilla nations to the east. Their cultural knowledge, sacred teachings, and enduring presence continue to shape this land. We acknowledge the sacred site of Pavunga, the gathering place, located here in the region we now call Long Beach. Pavunga remains an active Tongva and Ahashiman ceremonial place, a space for emergence, a reburial site, and the birthplace of spiritual philosophy. We recognize its profound significance and the ongoing efforts to protect and honor the sacred land. With deep respect, we pay tribute to relatives and relations, past, present, and emerging. We offer gratitude for their strength, resilience, and continued leadership.
And we are very pleased to have our invocation delivered by the senior pastor of the Antioch Church of Long Beach, Pastor Wayne Cheney, Jr. Please welcome Pastor Cheney.
Let's bow together. Oh Lord, how excellent is your name in all of the earth. It is by your will that all things are held together, and it is in you that we live, move, and have our being. And for that reason, we present ourselves again here and now as living sacrifices to you. We, like so many who have marked progress by their contribution to this world and humanity, choose to bear the uncomfortable burden of servant leadership. As servants, we understand that it is more blessed to give than to receive, to lay down personal convenience for collective benefit, to become the voice for the voiceless, to not lead with brute domination but love, and to allow exaltation to come from your hand as we walk humbly before you. Forgive us not only for every wrong we've committed, but also for every right we've omitted, for the injustices we have ignored, and for the needs we've turned a blind eye to. We ask for your forgiveness, for abdicating at times our obligation to the least of these, and for the times we've stepped out of the good fight because of the opposition. We, Lord, repent. Whether the burdensome weight of complexity is found in our business, governmental affairs, nonprofit, education, or family, you never promised that it would be easy, but that you would be with us. You never declared that we wouldn't shed tears in dark seasons of life, but that joy comes in the morning. The promise was never that you wouldn't have to wait, or we wouldn't have to wait on change, but that those who wait on you would renew their strength, that they would mount up with wings as eagles, that they would run and not be weary and walk and not faint. So as we work and wait, we pray that you arouse our enthusiasm, strengthen our resolve, grant us peace of mind, and ignite our divine ingenuity through the resurrection of prophetic possibilities once again. Grant wisdom, protection, and vision to our mayors, their support staff, and all who dwell in the communities they serve. For without it, we perish, but by it, we flourish. Your word declares, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Please give us a sober view of ourselves, then lovingly guide us into righteousness. If you do this, we'll be careful to give you all of the glory, the honor, and the praise. In your great name we pray. All those who agree, let me hear you say amen. God bless you.
Long Beach is proudly home to the largest Cambodian population outside of Cambodia. Our next guest is the dance instructor for the Mira Dance Group, a Khmer traditional dance group performing Robam Chunpor, a blessing dance. This excerpt of the dance is a classical ballet for the Royal Court of Cambodia, which is performed to kick off events, bless guests, express good praises, and create a positive atmosphere. Robam Chunpor reflects the Cambodian values of kindness, sincerity, and desire to bring happiness, prosperity, joy, and success to everyone. Please welcome Vacheni Pan. we are going to get a proper welcome from our host mayor. I know how much work goes into hosting these meetings. I was actually my mayor's chief of staff in 2010 when Oklahoma City hosted this meeting. It is something that you prepare for a couple of years. You probably raise millions of dollars, and you do all that because you are so excited to show off the best of your city to your friend mayors from around the country. And I can tell, I'm sure you will, if you don't already know, you will be able to tell over the next 4 days what passion and effort Mayor Richardson and his team have put into this hosting of our annual meeting. So with no further ado, let's bring to the stage, and you're going to have a few chances to thank him this week, but let's give him a round of applause this morning. Please welcome Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson.
All right. After more than a decade, the annual meeting of the U.S. Conference of Mayors has returned to the state of California, and we are proud to welcome America's mayors to the city of Long Beach for the very first time. And you showed up this morning. This is the largest number of attending mayors since COVID-19. So thank you, mayors, for showing up and supporting our conference. And shout out to the mayors who got up early this morning. Let's hear it if you got out and did the Olympic venue fun run this morning. I see you, city manager. All right. We want to recognize conference president David Holt, CEO executive director Tom Cochran, the entire U.S. Conference of Mayors team for bringing this conference here to the city of Long Beach. I also want to take a moment and recognize the former mayors of Long Beach who helped shape our city, including the great Mayor Beverly O'Neill, who served as presidents of this conference. Now, Long Beach has always believed that cities move America forward. And for generations, leaders from this city have helped carry that mission nationally. And over the past several months, our local city team has worked tirelessly to prepare an experience worthy of America's mayors. So please join me in thanking Visit Long Beach, our Long Beach Convention Center team, our city staff, my chief of staff and my staff, the Fairmont Regency, the Hyatt, the Fairmont Breakers, Hyatt Regency, all the hospitality workers who are working hard to make this happen, including a special round of applause for the members of Unite Here Local 11 who set up this great room for us this morning. Now, I'll be honest, it's been a very eventful week in the Richardson household. My wife and I have been balancing elementary school graduation, parent-teacher conferences this week, and the chaos that comes with raising two incredible young daughters. And somehow, in the middle of all of that and preparing to host the conference, the good people of Long Beach sought to re-elect me to a second term on Tuesday. And to be clear, I can't think of a better way to kick off a second term than welcoming all of you to our incredible city starting tonight. Now, it's important that mayors continue to meet like this. It matters. At a time when families are feeling squeezed by affordability, when cities are navigating housing shortages, when infrastructure demands our attention, and public safety challenges and climate pressures, economic change, mayors are where those challenges become real. We don't experience these issues as talking points. We hear them from our neighbors, residents at grocery stores, from small business owners trying to keep their doors open, from workers commuting longer distances, families wondering whether they can still afford to call their communities home. And that's why this conference matters. Because when mayors come together, we bring more than ideas. We bring lived experience. We bring real solutions and practical leadership and a willingness to learn from one another. That's the power of the United States Conference of Mayors, and Long Beach is proud to host that conversation. And while you're here, we're gonna make sure you experience the full vibe of Long Beach, because our city sits at the center of the future of urban America. We're the home to the Port of Long Beach, the part of the largest complex in the Western Hemisphere and one of the most important green global gateways. We're also helping lead the transition to a greener economy, and we're home to Space Beach, one of the fastest growing aerospace and advanced manufacturing hubs in America. Companies like VAST, Rocket Lab, Relativity Space are helping to shape the next generation of innovation right here in Long Beach. And tonight, you'll be able to step on board one of the world's first commercial space stations in America. You'll be able to step on board that tonight. And in 2028, Long Beach will welcome the world as the largest venue city for the Olympic and Paralympic Games, hosting 18 sports, more than 160 competition, and 2 million visitors. And for those of you who are fortunate enough to fly into the Long Beach airport, we are home to America's coolest airport, and that's actually a trademark. But what makes our community so special are the people, our diversity. We're a city of working families, a very diverse community. Immigrants, entrepreneurs, artists, students, dreamers, innovators. More than 200 languages are spoken here, and every neighborhood tells its own story through culture, food, music, tradition. The city has helped shape the culture of the West Coast, from hip hop to punk rock and ska. It's the hometown of Billie Jean King and Tony Gwynn and Snoop Dogg and Warren G. Long Beach Polytechnic High School has sent more people to the NFL than any high school in America. And Long Beach has produced more Olympians per capita than any city in the country. So Long Beach is more than a destination, it's a cultural capital, it's a vibe. So over the next few days, we hope you experience it for yourselves. Walk our waterfront, visit our aquarium of the Pacific, explore our neighborhoods, our small businesses, our incredible food scene. Because Long Beach is not a city that you can fully understand from inside of a conference room. You have to get outside and experience it. So take off your tie, prepare to wear the custom Vans that we made for you, and by the end of this week, I hope you leave with new ideas, stronger partnerships, and maybe a renewed sense of why we all got into this work in the first place. Because the work we do now will shape whether generations inherit cities that are more affordable, more connected, more sustainable, more hopeful than the ones we inherited. And I believe they will, because of leaders like you. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for carrying your cities through challenge and uncertainty. And thank you for proving every single day that local government still matters. Welcome to Long Beach. Welcome to Vibe City. And now, thank you. And now, I'd like to introduce my friend, the International Association of Firefighters 10th General President, Edzo Kelly. Go get him.
Thank you, Mayor Richardson. You can feel that Long Beach vibe, baby. It's going to be a great few days out here in Long Beach. I have the honor and privilege of representing just about 370,000 professional firefighters, paramedics, dispatchers, all throughout North America. And in that role, I have the obligation to call out public safety issues. Before I get to that, I want to take the mystery out of it for anybody. I'm from Boston. And my mayor, Michelle Wu, sends her regards to each and every one of you. She saw she couldn't make it. In fact, I'd like to thank Mayor Wu. On Monday, we buried a dear friend of mine, Boston firefighter Bobby Kilduff, who was killed in a 3-alarm fire a week ago Saturday. And I can tell you that Mayor Wu led with such poise, compassion, and somehow, in the midst of that difficult time, instilled pride in every Bostonian in who and what their fire department represents. So I hope none of you mayors ever have to go through that. But if you do, call on Mayor Wu. She can show you the way, because she was spectacular for us in a tough time. And in that very same vein, at the IFF, we say our mission starts in front of a church, and we work backwards from there. We have a dangerous job, one that's more of a calling than a profession. And we take an oath like you do to do it. And in the union business, we take a second oath to protect those people out in the front lines who are putting their lives on the line every day. And in our job, we've taken on issues like PFAS that was introduced into our personal protective equipment. We've taken on, we like to say we go wherever the fight is. Just like in the firehouse, we go wherever the fire is. We don't pick which fires we go to. We go wherever the fire is. And we have an emerging crisis in the fire service right now. The fire apparatus manufacturing industry has essentially been rolled up by private equity. And as a result, we have about 2/3 of the industry controlled by just 3 manufacturers. As a direct result, we're seeing what is essentially the doubling of costs from pre-COVID costs to 2025 all across the board, from big cities, whether it's Chicago, Philadelphia, or small towns all across the United States. This crisis is becoming a public safety threat. We've testified before the U.S. Senate to draw attention to this issue, called on antitrust investigations. And I invite you tomorrow at 3:45, we will be conducting a breakout session downstairs where we've got a great panel of mayors as well as antitrust industry experts to help educate you on this burgeoning threat that, believe me, is coming home to you. I can tell you that not only have we had near misses, we've lost lives because of the condition of the fire apparatus on the street. We had a fire in Chicago where we lost 5 lives, including children, and the first due tower ladder failed to get out of the bed. They had to go down and recycle the hydraulics 3 times with people hanging out the windows. We had a fire in Camden, New Jersey, where the pump failed, and it cost an adult special needs man his life. We had an apparatus fail in Boston back in 2009 that cost a firefighter his life. This becomes a very serious public safety issue very quick. We have to pay attention not only to the roll-up of the apparatus industry, there are other roll-ups happening in our world, whether it's the software industry or other PPE expenses, things like breathing apparatus that have gone from about $6,000 to $12,000. All of this is an issue that we, both labor and management, have to pay attention to. So I encourage you to take the time, come down, learn more about this issue tomorrow at 3:45, and I thank you, and I look forward to enjoying your company in the next few days. Thank you very much, and God bless you for the work you do.
Please welcome Conference President and Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt for discussion with the LA28 Chair, Casey Wasserman, and Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson.
Look, Casey, this is how much Long Beach loves you. They throw rose petals at your feet.
That's how we roll.
Well, okay, so obviously everybody is extremely excited for the Olympics coming to the United States in a couple of years, but no one is more excited than the 3 people you're looking at right now. Casey has been chairing this effort since before its inception. He was the leader of the bid to bring the Olympics to Los Angeles. And then I entered this story. I first met Casey in 2019. I entered this story the year before that when then Mayor Eric Garcetti first approached me about hosting canoe slalom, the whitewater events in Oklahoma City. Later, softball became a part of that conversation. And now we're the only city outside of Southern California that is hosting the entirety of a sport, and we have 2. And we will have 16 straight days of events in Oklahoma City. 7 gold medals will be awarded in Oklahoma City. So I'm over the moon about that. But if you really think somebody is excited about the Olympics, Mayor Richardson, tell them what you've got here in Long Beach.
Well, this will be our 3rd time hosting events. We started in 1932 with rowing. Marine Stadium was built then. And then in 1984, we did sailing and archery and a number of additional sports. This year we have 18 Olympic and Paralympic sports, 11 Olympic sports and 7 Paralympic sports. That's 161 ticketed competitions and about 2 million tickets here in the city of Long Beach. From aquatics, beach volleyball, we'll be active virtually every single day of the 2028 games. And for us, it's an opportunity to get our community involved, really establish a legacy, and to help tell our story on the national scale, international scale.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Well, Casey, you have been incredibly dedicated to this task, and you've been a great friend to me, a great friend to Rex, a great friend to all of the cities that are involved in this effort, and we just can't thank you enough. This is like a life's work type project for you, you know. I guess you knew what you were committing to when you did this,
Yeah.
but you know, it will take up the better part of your adult life, and your country thanks you. It's a unique time for sports in the United States right now. Obviously, we're all also looking forward to FIFA, the World Cup this summer. Of course, the 2028 games, as we just discussed, will predominantly take place in the Los Angeles metro and a little bit in Oklahoma City. But for the mayors and civic leaders in this room who want to bring some of the Olympic momentum to their own residents, as we will have in our regions, what is the economic and geographic reach of these games, and what opportunities, and I'm going to ask you in a minute about torch relay, so set that aside for a moment, but what opportunities will Americans thousands of miles away have to experience and touch the power of the Olympic Games in 2028?
Well, let me start by thanking both of you because we have had this weird Olympic journey in our process. The highest ranking political official we took to any Olympic event during the bidding process was Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles. And these two mayors have been extraordinary partners, have been incredible in helping us deliver this incredibly complex thing. And mayors do really get things done in an incredible way, and you two are incredible leading examples of that. And we would literally not be able to do this without folks like you and your very specific leadership. So I want to thank you very publicly for that. Let's start with the most obvious thing, I think, other than the torch, Mayor, is there's an athlete from every town in America, a potential Olympian or an Olympian. And I think that's a really powerful place to start because that image of the local high school gym in this town where there's no Olympics and no soccer preliminaries, watching that hometown hero compete in LA in their country's hometown game, in their country's home games, to have a chance for a medal is really powerful. Second thing is, these are America's Olympics. They happen to be hosted for the most part in Los Angeles, but these are America's games. And that means all of America is going to be excited about watching, engage with, supporting, not just Team USA, but the whole Olympics. And they can do that you can do that in your communities with local watch parties. You can do that in lots of ways. By the way, given the geographic spread of both soccer preliminaries, which are in 6 cities, Oklahoma City and Southern California, most of our games are probably within an 8 or 10 hour drive of an event, or most cities are within an 8 or 10 hour drive of an event. And so that's a really powerful thing as well. And look, the Olympics has the opportunity to unite this country in ways that not much else does. We like to say that it's not about red and blue, it's about red, white, and blue. This is about the flag on the back, and you know, we heard the beautiful anthem earlier, and when our athletes win a medal, they all sing the same anthem, they all look up at the same flag, and what a unique time to have a chance to remind people how powerful that is.
You mentioned the watch parties. That's not entirely like something you're expecting people to do organically. They can work with LA28 to actually do something that's kind of organized, and you've got kind of
we want to give communities all over the country a sort of a kit of parts, so they can activate. If it's an official watch party, there's obviously rules with the kit of parts because we have sponsors and IOC rules and lots of complex things like that. But having said that, we want the entire country to be activated, and it's why we've taken the approach. It's why one of the first things we did was take a sport and ultimately 2 whole sports, 1,500 miles away to Oklahoma City. It was important to make this not just about Los Angeles.
Now let me ask you about the torch relay real quick, and then I'm going to kick it over to Mayor Richardson for a couple of questions. So you made the exciting announcement, I think maybe in Tampa last year, that the torch relay is going to go to all 50 states. That's obviously a very tangible way that everyone will experience the games in the weeks and months leading up to LA 28. How can the mayors in the room be a part of that?
I think someone's going to put up a QR code so so that you can be part of the journey.
Yeah. Expression of
There you
interest
go.
form.
Look, this is going to all 50 states. It will start about 100 days before opening ceremonies. And just in case you're counting, we are, I know the Mayor Richardson and Mayor Holt are at 771 days from today is opening ceremony. So it's here, it's coming. And the torch going to all 50 states is really powerful and important. And I will tell you, Billy Payne, who had my job in the Atlanta Olympics in 1996, he said, I'm just going to give you one piece of advice, Casey. When it's you turn to run with the torch for your games, do not run with the torch in Southern California. Go to a state you may not have been to, a city you may not even have heard of, and you run there, because that's when you will see the impact of what you're doing. And we want that to touch every community. We want your communities to feel the power of that torch. That torch is going to be many communities' Olympic moment, but that's a big deal. It's going to sleep in about 100 cities. The torch sleeps officially, but it's lit always. And we have a great opportunity. And I tell you, just the interest in people participating in the torch relay is extraordinary. We have opportunities for, in about probably 10 cities to do celebrations in those cities. Obviously, Oklahoma, your whole city's a celebration. That's a different combination. But celebrations where we can stop, we can have, and we want to know what's important in your communities too. It's the other thing. So if there's a great food festival or the county fair in your town is the thing to be at every year, we want to bring the torch to where the people are, not force the people to come to the torch. And so whether it's a Yankees-Red Sox game or the Indy 500 or that's wrong time, but the Cherry Festival in Traverse City, we want to be where the people are because it's a really powerful symbol of unity, and every runner who runs with the torch is going to get to keep that torch. So it'll be in their living rooms forever, and I think it's going to be a really incredible opportunity to unite this country in a very physical way.
That's awesome. Rex?
It's great. Well, and I'll tell you, I can remember Atlanta. I wasn't there, but I was a kid, and I remember Atlanta and the moments you'll never forget. And, it's not lost on me that there's a whole generation of young people who are going to experience the Olympics for the first time and be able to experience it and touch it and see it and be inspired to be future athletes and Olympians. It's also not lost on me that this is the first time that we're doing the Olympics and the Paralympics together in the Los Angeles, Long Beach region. So we're opening up to an entire new group of supporters and future Paralympians. And so we have to really think, for me, it's an opportunity to think about legacy, how we integrate young people, how we create those memories that they can carry on with them. So maybe talk a little bit about what we're doing to make sure that young people and families have the opportunity to engage and be inspired and leave a legacy for them.
Yeah, so I would say it's a couple big areas of focus. The first is we have really affordable tickets in general.
That's right.
We have 1 million tickets at $28.
$28 tickets.
Every event, including every gold medal event, has a $28 ticket. 65% of our tickets are $200 or less, which is way cheaper than it is to go to a Laker game or an NFL game. So it's powerful. And I think that opens up the opportunity. And because we've got such a great footprint here, we have bigger venues than you would otherwise have. This convention center is where shooting will be. I mean, there's all sorts of scale here that we don't have, which means we have more access for people, which is why we'll sell about 14 million tickets in total, which is about 5 million more than have ever been sold for the Olympics and the Paralympics. And the other thing is really a community ticketing program where we're going to get significant philanthropy from local folks to make sure that people who are in and around the areas where the events are can go to the events for free. And so we have raised the money. We've announced the program. We've raised the money. Now we'll start to get into the details of how we execute, but it's going to come to Mayor Richardson's office and say, who are the community organizations, who are the partners in the community who we can work with to make sure the tickets get into the right people's hands and that they go to the event and they get that experience that you're talking about. The other thing I would say about the Olympics, and you alluded to it about 1996 real quick, is it is one of the last vestiges of common culture in this country. We've lost common culture. We are a divided cultural world. The Olympics don't care about politics. They care about people. And it's the one thing that every family can sit down in front of the TV and watch together without it being about something other than what it is. And that's a really powerful thing in a time and place when we need more of that.
Good. Well, it's like no time, right? Like it's here. We're like World Cup is happening in a couple weeks. We're all prepared for that. It's a test run, but we have 2 years to prepare, and this is a massive event. I mean, here in the city, we get the questions all the time. Hey, I want, are you just gonna improve the waterfront? Or are we gonna fix our parks? Our kids are gonna be excited to play soccer or basketball, and so we're doing those things. We're busy with preparation. We're putting $1 billion in our local assets and infrastructure so that kids in every part of our town feel inspired. But I'm sure you get the same questions as me. Are we ready? What's preparation looking like for LA 28 over the next couple years?
And let me just give this mayor a shout out. A couple years ago, he hired a consulting firm. He produced a 175-page report about what the city needs to do to get ready to take advantage.
The roadmap.
And they live against it, they operate against it, and they're executing against it, and it's a model for every city. And I will tell you, the power of the Olympics and the Paralympics, and Mayor Holt has been, through their programs, doing extraordinary things for a long time before we showed up, is not about those 30 days.
Right.
It's about the next 20 years because of those 30 days. And that's exactly what you two are focused on. It's those 30 days is a launching pad in the right direction. LA 28 as an organization, where we are at 771 days is as ready as you can be. We've got an extraordinary line of sight on hitting our budget in terms of revenue. And we've got real clarity on the expenses. Our complexity is totally unique, which is compressed delivery for all of our venues. So actually, I was torturing the mayor before we came out here that the Long Beach Grand Prix is here in April. Talk about how soon this is. 2 years from now is Long Beach Grand Prix. I mean, it's every year. What we need to do to start
51 years.
Yep, what we need to do to start setting up conflicts with their use case. How do we fix that to make sure that our use case is doable, because all 49 competition venues are used for other things. There may be a convention in this building that ends a month before we come in here for the Olympics, but that's the power of having these venues. The complexity is to then deliver those as quickly as possible and then get out of here as quickly as possible so they can return to their commercial use. And that's that's our complexity. So the last 18 months will be where we spend about 85% of our budget. And our budget, just for everyone's perspective, is $7.2 billion. And entirely privately generated the revenue and entirely privately managed and executed the expense. The cities we're great partners with them, but that's our remit. And I would say we are in a really good place, but once we flip that switch, it's on.
Good.
Well, Casey, you have been so kind. You came to Tampa. You spoke to us at our LA leadership meeting in February, and here you are again. We really, really appreciate the engagement that you've had with the U.S. Conference of Mayors and with American cities, and we know it will continue. We're wrapping up, but is there any kind of final message to the mayors in the room that you'd like to leave us with?
Well, I would say if you need inspiration about how to get your city, your community, your residents excited, look no further than these two here, because what they have done to embrace the Olympics, to use it as a catapult for their communities is powerful. And you're going to have a lot of touch points to do that, even if you don't have events like Long Beach and Oklahoma City does. And so we really do want these to be America's games that the entire country gets excited about, rallies around, and has a great feeling, as we do, for generations to come, for people who didn't otherwise see the Olympic Games. And we can't do that without all of you, and we appreciate it greatly.
Thank you. Let's thank Casey Wasserman. Either way.
Please welcome CEO and Executive Director of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Tom Cochran.
Welcome to the 94th annual meeting, and this is my 57th. This year has been a chaotic year. I was asked to comment on this year at the National League of Cities meeting earlier. And I'd like to repeat 2 or 3 things that I said about this year. Mayors have been targeted personally and targeted relative to the funds that they were to receive from the federal government. Money allocated to cities have been held up. Money that was passed by the Congress that we fought for has been held up. And the third thing, which is very scary, is we've had announcements that the federal government would interfere with our elections. Chief Ramsey taught us that police officers should not be at polling booths. Polling booths should be inviting places with balloons, buttons, and bumper stickers. Polling places should not be places where masked men come with guns. And so we've had a chaotic year. If you look at the good book, Psalms 30, verse 5, we weep through the night, but joy cometh in the morning. And that joy has come from a young man that I met when he was 27 years old, David Holt. Your president has kept us above the fray. He has brought us joy, and he stood with us in Oklahoma. And we signed, 300 mayors signed the Oklahoma Declaration against political violence with 4 pillars: pluralism, compromise, truth, and civility. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we thank Mayor David Holt for bringing us joy, for keeping us above it and keep us going. We have a great nation. We have a great republic. Benjamin Franklin says, you have a republic if you can keep it. It's going to be up to you to do it. Joy cometh in the morning. Let's look at the video. Mayor David F. Holt.
When I think of Mayor David Holt, I think of a truly steady leader, a disciplined individual, someone who has led us through sometimes very difficult times, but he is a key person that can cast a vision not only for the conference, but also care about its members and lifting up new mayors.
He's also just a really good guy. He's texting many of us and checking in on what we're doing and what we want to accomplish out of this and what we want to speak to.
He is a mayor for all mayors and takes in the input and informs his decision making and his communications with the input of others. I think that's part of what makes him so successful in the presidency.
I'm sharing this week in the life of an American mayor to illustrate that the world in which I operate as an American mayor truly includes the world. And at a time of perceived American withdrawal from important international partnerships, American mayors and all of us, as self-appointed ambassadors of our nation, can choose to use our platforms to reassure our longtime allies that the majority of Americans still see value in international alliances, partnerships, and friendships.
He's making it very clear that we as mayors, we have to not only walk the talk, we got to talk the walk. So in other words, do what you say you're going to do and make sure that others understand it. And that's what he's done. That's called leadership.
His time as president of this conference, I think, has laid a very strong foundation as we move forward to make sure that this organization is healthy, that it's prepared to support mayors and cities all across this country, and that we can advocate with great effectiveness in the nation's capital.
What we are arguing about is police tactics and strategies and managing engagement with
residents on the street. You know, we have built so much trust in these last few years and worked really hard at that. And obviously this whole situation has threatened to erode that trust.
I will never forget taking pen to paper and signing the Oklahoma City Declaration. That commitment to civil discourse, to peace, to reducing violence, to a politics that actually involves people working together across the aisle for the betterment of the American people was a profound moment, and not just a moment because it will continue as the ethos of this conference.
That signing of the Oklahoma City Declaration at that site of the Oklahoma City bombings was such a sobering moment for all of us to just remember the cost and the weight of political vitriol within our communities and what that can do.
David doing that, to me, again, reinforces the fact that he's been the right president at the right time for the United States Conference of Mayors.
I thought that was really good leadership, and I respect him so much for bringing us together on that.
It really showed people who we were as mayors.
In the absence of that moral clarity coming from the President of the United States, who then does the task of bringing America together, of healing, fall to?
Every one of us. You know, presidents don't run this country, Americans run this country. That's the way it works as long as that Constitution sitting a few blocks from here is still in power.
To leverage our experience in his town so that we could stand together at this point of incredible pain for our country and be able to tell people it can get better and here's how you do it. You know, you see each other as human beings, you work together, you communicate. That, I think, is only possible because David is our leader. It made me very proud to be a member of the United States Conference of Mayors.
Mayors are unique among American political leaders right now. We work across partisan lines. We reject extremism in all its forms. We engage in democracy the way it was practiced for 2 centuries. And at the end of the day, every day, we get things done.
We're all grateful, right, that someone of that incredible capacity uses everything that God has given him to benefit his city and, because of his service at the conference, our entire country.
We have been really focused heavily on housing here in America and the housing shortage that we have. And he has really been a visionary leader to talk about not only what they've done in Oklahoma City, but really highlight so many other cities across the country and what they're doing to tackle this shortage.
His commitment to housing, as we all know, it's a crisis. We need 4 million units, and he knows as best as everybody else that mayors can actually get it done if we can get the regulatory inhibitors out of the way and really get into the works.
We think that's an area of bipartisan consensus. Like, that's something everybody wants across the political spectrum. Republicans and Democrats want more affordable housing.
He also has been really bold in leading around the area of sports. You know, Oklahoma City is actually playing a key role in 2028 with the Olympics that are actually in Los Angeles, California. But Oklahoma City is actually going to be the host for several events during that time. And so he's used that platform to encourage other communities to step up and get involved in the sports ecosystem across our country.
The best memory was when he brought in the NBA championship trophy at the leadership conference in Oklahoma City. As a mayor, especially of a city that's used to winning championships like Tuscaloosa, to me it spoke to how much he loved his hometown, because it was more than just showing off the NBA trophy. It was about saying Oklahoma City won. They are the leader in the nation in this.
David is so proud of that championship. You see it in his communications, you see it on his socks on the main stage. He is both a champion for his city, a champion for the winning team in his city, and a champion for mayors and what we try to accomplish for the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States Conference of Mayors, David Holt.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you to the mayors who shared those incredibly kind words in that video. And thank you to all of you for the trust you have placed in me to lead this organization for the last year. It's been an incredible honor to speak for America's mayors, and I'll be processing the reality that I had that opportunity for the rest of my life. America's mayors are this country's greatest political leaders, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Now, there's a reality in this job that you go out with a bang, not with a whimper. The annual meeting is the highlight of our year, and the presidency of the United States Conference of Mayors ends with the annual meeting, which means the last 4 days of my presidency are the most important. So though this is my final full address to the body, I have a lot of work left over the next 4 days. This moment is certainly not farewell. You're about to see a lot of me. But what this speech represents is my opportunity to communicate to you the state of our organization. Now, a year ago, I stood before you in Tampa and said that the U.S. Conference of Mayors is built on a 4-legged stool of advocacy, access, information and best practices, and collegiality and culture. So I will sort of provide my state of USCM through the prism of those 4 categories. First, advocacy. We were created nearly a century ago to lobby for cities in Washington, D.C. And we have actually had more luck with that this last year than it probably felt like we would this time a year ago. Now, when I say that, I do have to differentiate between the administration and Congress. This administration has been hostile towards cities and mayors to a degree no one has ever seen. Our relationship is essentially non-existent, and that's unfortunate because mayors are pragmatic and we will always be ready to work with this administration till its final day. But we are certainly not alone in finding the doors of the White House closed to us. They hate everybody. And surprising absolutely no one, that hasn't served them well. Almost every single mayor in this room has a pretty high approval rating in their city. I'm not bragging, that's just the objective reality for most of us. I just got reelected this year with 86.5% of the vote. Thank you. In contrast, the administration's approval rating is currently 35%. This is statistically the least popular administration in American history. They should probably spend a little more time rubbing elbows with us, but that's their loss. But on Capitol Hill, we have many friends and allies on both sides of the aisle. Key members of Congress, especially the Republicans currently in power, have protected vital urban programs like CDBG. And as you almost surely know, both chambers have pursued our top legislative priority, housing, with gusto. Both chambers have passed landmark bipartisan housing bills. In fact, both chambers are so eager to pass a housing bill that the only thing holding up the outcome has been each chamber's passion for its own bill. Our position has been to simply support everything, and we have to let them work it out. But as you know, we have been to the Hill multiple times. We have hosted members of Congress at our meetings, and we are very grateful for the partnership we continue to have there. And we also admire the way they have worked together in a bipartisan fashion. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Tim Scott, Congressman Mike Flood, Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, Congressman French Hill, and Congresswoman Maxine Waters have reminded us that there are still serious people in Congress willing to do serious bipartisan work. We appreciate them, and they appreciate us. When Congressman Mike Flood of Nebraska, a Republican, recently presented the housing bill on the floor of the House, he specifically spoke in his debate about his relationship with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. The stage is set for Congress to act this year on housing, and when they do, we will be able to say that we played a major role in what will be another landmark legislative accomplishment for this storied organization. We have also leveraged our shared interests with sister organizations to advocate for federalism. This spring in Oklahoma City, for the first time in half a century, the elected leaders of the Big Seven came together. The Big Seven are the 7 organizations that include ourselves and NLC, as well as the organizations representing governors, state officials, state legislators, county officials, and city managers. That conversation will continue. Our advocacy is not just domestic these days, it is also global. As your president, I have traveled the world, most notably to gatherings in Germany, Spain, and France, and at each stop, I've been able to carry the message to our fellow mayors around the world that America's mayors still believe in international partnership and friendship. And though we cannot speak for our federal government, we mayors do speak for the people, and we can give hope to our international allies that more serious and responsible governance will return to the United States. I have been honored to sign memorandums on your behalf memorializing that partnership with the Association of German Cities, our counterpart in Germany, as well as the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, headquartered in Paris. Specifically, our partnership with the OECD is one that will endure, and in consultation with my presidential successors, I will be taking on the chairmanship of a new task force to shepherd that relationship in my post-presidency. Also, while in May, I participated in a meeting of the U7, the municipal counterpart to the G7, and right now, as we speak, the U7 is meeting in France. Next year, the U7 is coming to the United States, and the U.S. Conference of Mayors will be the host organization. Now let me talk about the second and third legs of our stool, access and best practices. They go hand in hand, experts and the information they provide. I talked about the access we have had in Congress, but that's just part of what we try to offer you here. We want you to be exposed to thought leaders across many sectors that you would otherwise not have access to if not for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And when I look across the span of this past year, I am proud of the opportunities we've been able to provide. Obviously, at our DC winter meeting and here in Long Beach, we have business council representatives that provide expertise in numerous city services and an entry point to economic development opportunities. And think of the audiences we have had with leadership at the highest levels in sports. Just moments ago, you heard from Casey Wasserman, the chair of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. In January, we met with the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino. And in February, at our leadership meeting, we met with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver at the NBA All-Star Game. We also launched the Game Changer Initiative this year under the leadership of Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, and you've spent time with legendary athletes like Nadia Comaneci, Bart Connor, and Trae Young. I have found that being a mayor means becoming a subject matter expert in the business of sports, and USCM has provided opportunities for our mayors to elevate their game. And USCM is also providing access to expertise in a broad spectrum of subjects. This is evidenced by the dozens of speakers at our breakout sessions in DC and here in Long Beach, as well as our sessions this year in Arlington, Texas, and at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. Mayor Jim Ross in Arlington wants you to know that he invites you to participate in the next leadership cohort at the Medal of Honor Museum next April, and Mayor Kirk Watson always invites you to Civic I/O at South by Southwest. And at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we're also a magnet for artistic talent, as you'll see here in Long Beach over the next few days, thanks to our partnership with Americans for the Arts. The fourth leg of our stool is the collegiality we enjoy together and the unique culture that we have here. Mayors support each other, and we work together across partisan lines. This may be the leg of the stool on which I've spent the most time, and it also drives my work to ensure that our in-person meetings are special. I believe there is incredible value to you if I can get you to our winter meeting, our annual meeting, and our leadership meetings. If I can get you there, I know that your soul will benefit from being together with other mayors. But sometimes to get you there, I have to present you special opportunities and special access. I've worked really hard to do that this year, and as a result, we have had some of the best attendance at our meetings that we have seen in recent years. On that note, please put our DC meeting on your calendar now, January 20th through the 22nd in 2027, and then our 2027 annual meeting in Providence, June 24th through the 27th. And by the way, our executive committee voted yesterday, and I can share with you the news this morning that our 2028 annual meeting will be in Philadelphia. We are excited to return our annual meeting to the birthplace of our nation for the first time since 1984. And I can also announce, so I don't know any Philly folks here. I can also announce this morning that our 2029 annual meeting will be in Atlanta. Atlanta is at the heart of the nation's 6th largest metro area, and believe it or not, our annual meeting has never been held in Atlanta. The quality of our meetings is at its highest level, and you are responding with your attendance. And that's a good thing, because being here together is the best mental health support program that we can offer. And I believe the elevated standard of our meetings will be sustained. We care about your mental health. We also care about your safety, and that's why this year we convened experts to develop best practices around mayoral security, which we shared with you and then shared directly with the other law enforcement decision makers in your city. Our culture of working together was also reflected in the signing of the Oklahoma City Declaration. The commitment memorialized in that document came at a critical time for our nation, but its principles are timeless, and that ethos will endure in this organization. This year, we have strengthened the 4 legs of our stool: our advocacy, access, best practices and information, and our collegiality and culture are all right where they need to be. For this success, I want to thank my fellow officers, Vice President Todd Gloria of San Diego, and Second Vice President Leary and Gaylor Baird of Lincoln. Your support has been incredible and meaningful, and we're going to be well served over the next 2 years by your presidencies. Yeah. I want to also thank the Executive Committee, which is comprised of the officers, the past presidents, and trustees. We've created a brand new culture on the Executive Committee this past year. Rather than rushed, infrequent meetings, we have gathered the night before our larger meetings, giving us plenty of time for thoughtful discussion and collegiality, and that has given us the ability to leave a tremendous legacy upon the governance of this organization. The Finance and Audit Committee, under the leadership of Mayor Elizabeth Kautz, has done great work on operational issues, and we have all worked together to modernize our governance. As you know, a year ago, at President Ginther's direction, I chaired the effort to write and adopt the conference's first bylaws. Alongside that effort, we proposed updates to the Constitution. And after a year of ratification, yesterday, we finally secured the final votes and crossed the required threshold of 2/3 of our mayors approving the amended Constitution. You have actually received that new Constitution in your email this morning. In addition to being mayor, I am also the dean of a law school, and so though the rule of law may not be sexy, I do believe that clear rules are a necessary foundation for success, and I am proud to have left that legacy upon the organization. As I end my tenure this week as president, I leave you with something we have never had: an updated Constitution and a thorough set of bylaws. And we've also worked together, yes, thank you. And we've also worked together in our governance to create the foundation for our future as we look to a world 2 years from now without Tom Cochran as our CEO and executive director. Speaking of Tom, I want to also thank Tom Cochran and his team. Of course, we all know that Tom is an institution, and he has worked for the U.S. Conference of Mayors for more than half its existence. As I've said on this stage before, and he just said it as well, I have known Tom basically my entire adult life. Tom, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I feel fortunate to have had this time with you. And I'm also grateful for the entire USCM team. I am tempted to thank every single person by name, but I think probably in the interest of time, that's not a great idea. But I want each of you that I have worked with this year on the USCM staff to know that I'm deeply grateful for your service, and I hope you've had as much fun as I have. This is an incredibly dedicated team, and just like mayors, they work 24/7. I do think I probably have to thank Yvonne Daly by name, because I think it's a safe bet Yvonne has received at least one text from me every single day for the last year. I'm sure she will miss that come Monday morning. I want to publicly thank my chief of staff, Bailey Cyber. She doesn't get a, She doesn't get a daily text, she gets an hourly one. I simply could not have done this without Bailey. Thank you so much, Bailey. Thank you as well to Karen Fox, Craig Freeman, my city council, and the rest of my City of Oklahoma City family. Thank you as well to my actual family, Rachel, George, and Maggie. Your support of me and my ambitions to do crazy things like this means the world to me. I love you guys. Thank you to Mayor Mick Cornett, my predecessor as mayor and former president of this organization, for putting me on this path. Now it's time to roll into the rest of this exciting meeting. We have an incredible lineup for you, both during the day and in the evenings. As I said earlier, I've been going to these meetings off and on since 2007, and I have to tell you that our host mayor, Rex Richardson, has put together some of the best meetings, some of the best evenings I've ever seen at our annual meetings. Let me remind you the highlights of both day and night. Today at lunch, we will welcome iconic actor Danny Trejo and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Tonight, we will enjoy Long Beach legends Sublime and Warren G. Tomorrow night, Mayor Richardson is bringing us Pancho Sanchez. On Saturday at our lunch plenary, we will welcome another artistic icon, visual artist Ed Ruscha, as well as Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. And that night, Snoop Dogg and the Queen Mary. It doesn't get any better than that. And then Sunday morning, we'll close things out with our final artistic icon, Chuck D of Public Enemy. In addition to all of that, we have 6 more plenaries and over 50 breakout sessions. Please take full advantage of it. And please know everyone is invited to attend our opening press conference this morning at 11:45 in Promenade Room 202C. All mayors who come will get the chance to introduce themselves. Now it's time to get this annual meeting rolling. And so I'll leave you this morning with the paraphrased words of our friend and Long Beach native, Snoop Dogg. With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Holt DAVID. But we somehow, some way, keep coming up with life-changing urban policy like every single day. Thank you again for this incredible honor of being your president. We'll see you at the press conference at 11:45. This session is adjourned. Thank you.